We know that housing is the largest expense for American families every month, and the problem has just gotten worse. New research shows that for the first time, the typical American renter is spending at least 30% of their income to cover the average rent. That makes them rent burdened by federal standards. Now, a severe shortage of homes paired with growing persistence of greedy corporate landlords has made this problem worse and put housing out of reach for many families. Fixing this problem at its root is going to require serious investments in building more housing, like those I call for in my American Housing and Economic Mobility Act. And I'm going to keep fighting for this. But the problems that renters face go far beyond the supply problem. In too many places across the country, renters have few protections from needless evictions, excessive fees, and exorbitant rent hikes. Dr. Herbert, you're one of the nation's leading researchers on the housing market, so let me ask you, there's been a growing movement of tenants across the country calling on the federal government to establish tenant protection standards. Why is it important that the federal government act to protect tenants?
Thank you, Senator. Well, I would say that there's lessons that we've learned from the previous pandemic about the importance of housing and having stable, secure housing, which led us to take steps nationally to have an eviction moratorium and the like. I think there's a lesson there that says this is an issue of national interest. It should be something that differs depending on what state you're in. The other precedent I would point to is in the mortgage market, where we have a number of federal statutes, RESPA, TILA, ACOA, that all relate to making sure that home buyers across the country, wherever you live, are treated fairly in the market. So I think there's very similar parallel there between homeowners and renters.
Yeah, that is a really important point. And it's part of the reason that I led a letter with Congressman Jamal Bowman, joined by 47 of our colleagues, calling on President Biden to take executive action to protect tenants and bring down rental costs. 2 weeks ago, the White House announced a framework for enhanced renter protections, and I was glad to see this action. It's an important first step, but we need more. In fact, the day the White House's framework was announced, the real estate lobby celebrated, and they bragged that they had watered down the administration's announcement. This is the very same industry that spent over $100 million on lobbying last year.
Uh-oh, friends. I have shocking news to share with you this Sunday. A recession is on the way right now, and lawmakers have confirmed that this could negatively affect all Americans, especially retirees and seniors, because programs like Social Security and SNAP may be forced to undergo several changes, including benefit cuts. My friends, I will be covering everything that you need to know, so please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community, I will be announcing 2 winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaways, friends, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos. Please comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Many are baffled by the state of our country's economy. The labor market is thriving. U.S. unemployment is at its lowest level since 1969. GDP and retail sales indicate that the economy is still expanding. Yet, U.S. manufacturing has likely already contracted into a recession. Housing sales have plummeted. Tech layoffs keep coming, and corporate earnings growth is dwindling. So the big question is whether the U.S. economy is heading towards a soft or hard landing, or maybe no landing at all. Various sectors of the economy have already experienced their own cool downs, and some economists say this perplexing phenomenon is a product of a rolling recession. That is when an economic downturn sweeps slowly across the economy, impacting sectors one by one. During the peak of the crisis, money was funneled into the goods sector because there was very little access to services as consumers stayed in their homes. Then as the economy reopened, Pent-up demand caused a huge surge in services. One top economist told CNN News, "The crisis created pockets of weakness in many categories on the goods side, especially housing. The sectors are definitely in recession territory. We think the economy will suffer from rolling recessions, evidenced by the fact that corporate earnings growth is now entering its downturn." Federal Reserve Bank of New York President John Williams said that another rate hike of 1/4 percentage point seems like the right size. So overall inflation is starting to come down, but shoppers continue to feel the pinch of higher prices at the grocery store. Food prices in December 2022 increased nearly 11% from the same time in 2021. From November to December 2022, the increase was 0.3%. That is smaller than the 0.5% increase from October to November. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, uses indexes to measure the change in the average cost of items that consumers purchase in a given period. And there are specific indexes for these items, including food costs. The index for groceries increased 11.8% year over year. Grocery costs increased 0.2% in December, compared with 0.5% in November. Analysts say that there is no straight answer on when grocery prices will drop, as it relies on a number of factors, including post-crisis consumer demand, ongoing supply chain shortages, and unstable weather patterns. Friends, please comment below and let me know how inflation has impacted your local grocery store prices. The U.S. reached its debt ceiling on January 19th, and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says extraordinary measures have begun to mitigate financial repercussions. But will those measures include pausing Social Security payments? In the past, Congress has avoided this by raising the debt limit. But House Republicans say they will not support another increase unless they get spending cuts or other concessions. According to Yahoo News, defaulting on a debt would be a first in U.S. history and would force officials to choose between continuing assistance, like Social Security, and paying interest on the nation's debt. However, a House Republicans' payment prioritization plan would call for the Biden administration to make only the most urgent federal payments if the debt limit is reached. The plan also may specify that the U.S. Treasury Department continue making payments on Social Security, Medicare, and veterans benefits, as well as military funding. And this is according to two people aware of the internal discussions, as reported by the Washington Post. Republican Representative Chip Roy, the leading lawmaker who helped arrange the deal, said, "We agreed to advance a debt prioritization bill through regular order by the end of the first quarter of 2023. The White House is relying on bipartisan support to bypass House Republican leadership and to raise the debt limit." President Biden has said that he refuses to negotiate over any debt limit, and Congress must vote to raise the limit with no conditions. The last time the United States reached a debt ceiling was in 2011, and it took months for the economy to recover. The U.S. Treasury found that waiting to raise the limit took a toll on the economy, affecting the market and even people's retirement savings. Well, my beautiful and amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Thank you, dear friends, for being part of this community and for joining me here every single day. To show my appreciation, my friends, I will be announcing 2 winners this Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. Friends, the more videos that you watch and then leave a comment on, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Sunday.